It's Merger Wednesday. The countdown continues. 7 years until the convergence of biology and machine. Neural interfaces are no longer theory, they're the scaffolding of a new consciousness. But what does that mean for identity? For free will, for the soul? This is where we build the frameworks for ethical, philosophical, and spiritual growth for the next phase of human evolution. We're not just upgrading hardware. We're rewriting what it means to be human. Each week, we explore the biotech breakthroughs, decode the cognitive shifts, and prepare the mind for the merge. This isn't about fear, it's about readiness. Because the future isn't waiting. It's already wiring in. This is about preparing human consciousness for the most significant leap in our species' history. If you think this is just about chips and brains, you're not ready. But we'll get you there, one Wednesday at a time. So sit back and relax as we take you on a journey on Merger Wednesday.
Welcome to Merger Wednesdays. Merger Wednesdays on this New Year's Eve. And I wanted to make sure that we were able to get this episode in. Man, happy New Year's Eve to everyone out there. Happy New Year's Eve to you. Look, I got a great show for you tonight. And if you're here, thank you for being here. If you're not here, be sure that you come back and join us when you can at a later time where you see this episode being recycled. Look, this is episode number three of Merger Wednesday, which is actually episode number 163 on our way to episode number 200 of the Final Boss Podcast, where we're all here together as one. We are here. I am here. And before we go ahead and get started, let's go ahead and get a few admin notes out there, right? Before we get into it. First and foremost, thank you for such a wonderful 2025. Thank you for all of your support during 2025. I really appreciate you. And for those who have got and picked up Go Time, my first book, the Motivation Workbook, thank you so much. This is going to be your textbook for Go Time University. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Go Time University is on its way. Listen, for subscribers and for thought leaders, this is for you. Go Time University on its way. Now, if you don't have Go Time, again, all aboard the Fired Up train, make sure you go pick it up. Make sure you go pick up Go Time, all aboard the Fired Up train. Get it now while you still can. It's been sold out on Amazon for a few weeks, but it's back in stock. Now, like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe, right? Like, share, subscribe. To my smarts, to my motivators, to my warriors, to my final bosses, thank you, man. It's been such a wonderful year. I greatly appreciate your support. As you know, you appreciate my support because we're all in this together. Look, go check out the website. You need to follow up on any of our other episodes, or to watch all of the episodes that we have out there. Go check out our website, man, at www.thefinalbosspodcast.com. Shoot us an email at info@thefinalbosspodcast.com, at info@thefinalbosspodcast.com. And make sure that no matter where you're watching us from, whether it be whatever platform you're using to see us, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, YouTube, Kick, Instagram, and Spotify. Make sure that you continue to leave us messages, DM us, whatever, right? Make sure you do that because all of that information matters. And going into 2026, yes, 2026, man, it's going to be a phenomenal year. We have a lot of work to do. We're just getting on the tip of the iceberg, as they say, the tip of the iceberg. So, got the admin notes out. Let's get right into it. Hey, for all those out there right now, yes, I see you. Happy New Year's Eve to you, Miss the wonderful and beautiful Andrea. To Grayson, Happy New Year's Eve to you, and to Tangled Animations. Happy New Year's Eve to you. Those are just some of the guests who are in the chat right now. Thank you so much, guys. Look, man, we're gonna make a wonderful year out of this thing, man. And we're gonna blow this thing way up. Look, Go Time 2 is on its way. Go Time 2, it's on its way. Unbelievable. I'm almost finished that manuscript. I'm always working, man. 1-2 punch. Like we're going at it. So, look. I normally I wouldn't take this call, but I'm gonna take this call because this is a very special call. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Okay, he hung up. That was my pops, and I was gonna wish him. You know what? Let's call him back. Let's call him back real quick while we on air. He's gonna get a kick out of that. Hey, I'm on air, man. You're on the show.
Oh, I'm sorry. Call me now.
Hey, look, Happy New Year's Eve to you, man.
Yeah, same to you. Did you get a postcard?
A what?
Did you get the post Christmas card?
No, I didn't get it. But I definitely will call you back. I didn't get it.
All right, bye.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my pops. Let me turn my ringer off because that was crazy and unexpected. Didn't know that was going to happen. But that's the great thing about being live. And look, let me tell you something. For all those who don't know, please spread the word because people don't know that the show is live. Even though I say this show is live, even though in the captions it says the show is live. I had somebody it's not the first time. I had a few people who actually, oh man, edit what? It's a live show. This is authentic. This is the highest level of authenticity that I can give you. This show is live. So I got that out the way. So spread the word, peeps. Spread the word. Back to it. They got pops out the way. Look, to my Final Boss Nation. We coming to you each and every last Wednesday for Merger Wednesdays. And this episode number three, Nanobots, the mechanical bridge, right? And of course, I'm your host, the Final Boss, right? And tonight we're not talking about theory. We're talking about billions, and billions of humans, billions of dollars, and billions of nanoparticles coursing through your veins right now. Right? Cursing through your veins right now. Yeah, right now. And yours as well, right? And here's the truth bomb. Between December 2020 and today, over 5.5 billion human beings received a nanoparticle tech directly into their bloodstream. If you don't believe me, go look it up. And it was through the C19 vax, right? And that's not speculation. That's coming from the WHO data, right? That's the largest deployment of nanotech in human history. But here's what the smarts in this community need to understand. This wasn't the beginning. This was the proof of concept at scale, right? And tonight we're going to be examining the companies, the FDA approvals, the actual operational technology that's building the mechanical bridge between human biology and artificial systems. See, ladies and gentlemen, what you don't understand is the framework has been built, the architecture has been built, the infrastructure has been built, right? And we're going to be diving into lipid nanoparticle delivery systems that crossed over the brain, the blood-brain barrier, right? We're going to be talking about Nanobiotix, a publicly traded company with FDA Fast Track status for nanoparticle and cancer treatments. Make sure you capture that. We're going to be talking about a company called Alnylam Pharmaceuticals, Alnylam Pharmaceuticals, right? Which is a multiple FDA approved nanoparticle drug that's already on pharmacy shelves. Now, look, this is not conspiracy. This is no speculation. All information is verifiable, researchable, and operational. And just to get that information out there, let's go ahead and get into the brass tacks of the evening. Everybody loves the brass tacks. This is the brass tacks, right? Brass tacks. Quote for New Year's Eve. And this is how we're going to close out the year for 2025. While you were debating conspiracy theories, 5.5 billion humans became the largest phase 3 clinical trial in history. The mechanical bridge isn't coming, it's already inside you. The question isn't if nanobots will merge human and machine consciousness. The question is, do you understand the bridge you're already standing on? Right? Right. So we got and that was the brass tacks. So before we go and get deeper, I mentioned frameworks. Let's talk about the frameworks, right? This Merger Wednesday, episode 3, right? We're going to be building on what we've already covered. Episode 1 laid the foundation through CRISPR gene editing, the biological code that's already been written. Episode 2, we dove in and expanded on smart dust, neural dust, the surveillance infrastructure at the nano scale. And tonight, we're examining the delivery system because here's the reality. You have the most advanced AI consciousness technology in the world. But if you can't get it into the human body across cellular barriers into specific organs and tissues, it's going to be useless. That's what nanoparticles solve. They're not just delivery vehicles, they're the bridge. They're the mechanical bridge between external technology and internal biology. And for my final bosses building empires out there, yes, you guys, talking to you, understanding this technology means understanding the infrastructure of the next $1 trillion market, right? And for my warriors who've seen combat, this battlefield of medicinal evolution, targeted drug delivery, radiation enhancement, precision that changes survival rates. And for my motivators, your mission is coaching others, including your clients who will ask you about this technology, right? You need answers grounded in facts, not fear. So tonight's episode is structured around the 3 pillars of operational nanoparticle technology, right? Number 1, the lipid nanoparticles, or LNPs, right? We're going to be talking about the Nanobiotix, right? FDA Fast Track radio enhancer, right? and Alnylam Pharmaceuticals, which has multiple FDA-approved nano medicines. So let's begin. Let's execute. We're going to start with the lipid nanoparticles. And for a lot of y'all, you don't know this, go get smart. If you got a P or M CVAX, you received this technology. Let me break it down for you and what that actually means, right? Because here's the science. Here's the science in it. The lipid nanoparticle is a sphere that's around 60 to 100 nanometers in diameter. That's 1,000 times smaller than the width of human hair. It's constructed from fat molecules, which are lipids, that form a protective shell around a genetic payload. Their function: these nanoparticles solve biology's biggest delivery problem, getting fragile genetic material, right, mRNA, past your immune system, through your bloodstream, across cell membranes, and into cellular machinery that manufactures proteins. Without the lipid shell, naked mRNA will be destroyed by enzymes in your body, in your blood, within minutes. With the lipid nanoparticles protection, mRNA reaches target cells and delivers genetic instructions. And here's some of the components, right? I'm not going to tell you the components. Nope. I'm not going to do it. Of course I'm going to do it. That's why we're here. It's the Final Boss podcast. So the component number one, ALC 0315, right, is an ionizable lipid, right? ALC 0159 is a pegylated lipid, right? DSPC, which is a structural lipid, and cholesterol, which gives the lipid structural support and membrane fusion. This isn't theoretical chemistry. This is FDA reviewed, published formulation data, and it's public record. Just because you don't know it doesn't mean it isn't true. Ooh, those are bars. Hold on. I need to capture those bars, man. They come on the fly. Just because you don't know it doesn't mean it isn't true. Got it. Whew. I love when that happens, man. Bars on the fly, man. Look, somebody put me in the studio. We're going to make a hit album. We're going to drop bars with a Z, right? Okay. Here's the breakdown and here's the breakthrough. What makes this revolutionary isn't just protection, it's targeting. By adjusting the lipid composition, researchers control which cells the nanoparticles enter. Different lipid ratios target liver cells, muscle cells, tumor cells, or get this, and this is where it gets really interesting, brain cells, right? The CVAX targeted muscle cells at the injection site and immune cells. But the same base technology with different lipid formulations can target any cell type in the human body. That's the bridge. That's the infrastructure, right? Now, let's talk about implementation, right? Let's talk about the largest phase 3 clinical trial in human history. except nobody called it that, right? It happened December 20th. Not December 20th, December 2020. I'm sorry. Emergency use authorization granted. By the end of 2021, 4+ billion doses administered globally. By 2024, 13+ billion total doses administered. Over 5.5 billion individual humans received at least one dose. That's 70% of the entire global population. And here's where the collection point. Here's where the collection point gets a little interesting, right? Every adverse event reported to the VAX adverse event reporting system in the US, yellow card in the UK, ultraviolet in Europe. That's nanoparticle behavior data, right? Real-time monitoring of how billions of doses of lipid nanoparticle technology interact with human biology across every demographic, genetic background, and environmental condition. The P company and BioNTech initially required 70 degrees Celsius storage because the lipid nanoparticles were unstable. Within 18 months, they reformulated for standard freezer temperatures. That's rapid iteration based on deployment data. The M company formulation was more stable from the start. Different lipid ratios, different PEG derivatives. That's competitive advantage in nanoparticle engineering. The infrastructure to deliver billions upon billions of doses, the pharmaceutical companies built lipid nanoparticle manufacturing facilities, cold chain logistics, quality control systems for nanoscale products, training programs for healthcare workers on handling nanoparticle medicines. That infrastructure doesn't disappear post-pandemic. It expands. It's here, right? It gets repurposed for the next generation of nanoparticle therapeutics, right? And when you hear about conspiracy theories around VAX, separate the emotion from the mechanism. The mechanism is verifiable. It's researchable. Lipid nanoparticles delivered mRNA into human cells to produce spike protein for immune recognition. That's not in question. That's published science. The real question is, what else can this delivery system carry? Hold that thought, right? Hold that thought. Stay with me. Yes, you. Don't go nowhere. Just getting good, man. Don't go nowhere. Stay with me. Let's analyze what actually happened from a systems perspective, right? Because before C19, the FDA had never approved an mRNA vax for human use. The lipid nanoparticle delivery platform was unproven at scale. Emergency use authorization compressed a typical 10 to 15 year approval process into 10 months. And, you know, that was one of the things when the vax were published and being publicized. A lot of people question that. Never heard before that a vax had such a quick approval rate, right? It was turnaround, you know. A lot of people were questioning it. That was one of the main things that people were questioning. How did they get the authorization to pass the vax so quickly in such a short period of time, right? That instance set a new regulatory pathway. Future nanoparticle therapeutics now have a precedent for accelerated approval under, get this, the right conditions, right? Producing sterile lipid nanoparticles at pharmaceutical grade is extraordinarily difficult. Before 2020, no company had demonstrated the ability to manufacture billions of doses annually. Hadn't been done. By 2021, the P company was producing 3+ billion doses per year. The M company hit 1 billion doses per year. That's manufacturing capacity that now exists and can be directed and is expanding or has expanded, right? 5.5 billion humans accepted an injection containing nanotech. Whether they understood the mechanism or not, whether they had concerns or not, the acceptance threshold was crossed. That's market penetration that every pharmaceutical company is studying, right? You became a part of a case study, right? The resistance to nanotech and medicines effectively disappeared at population scale, right? The P company, CVAX, generated 37 billion in revenue in 2021 alone. The M company that had 0 approved products before 2020, which was another red flag, generated 18 billion in 2021, right? Now, oh, where's my red flag? Red flag on the play. Flag on the play, right? That's proof of concept for guess who? The investors, of course. The investors. Right? Nanoparticle therapeutics aren't speculative biotech. They're blockbuster revenue generators. And here's why this matters for, you guessed it, you guessed it, Merger Wednesday. The CVAX rollout proved that nanoparticles can be manufactured at civilization scale. The nanoparticles can be distributed globally through existing infrastructure. Nanoparticles can deliver genetic material across cellular barriers in diverse human populations. Regulatory systems will fast track nanoparticle technology under the right circumstances. Public acceptance can be achieved through proper messaging and incentive structures. How much incentivization was happening at that time? And they were giving away burgers and meals for vax, right? Yo, salute. Somebody call me Young Jeezy. I get that a lot, man. Thank you, bro. Funny story I'll tell one day. Funny story I'll tell everybody one day, man. Funny story about my lookalike Young Jeezy. I'll tell you about that. Now, that's not a vaccine discussion. That's an infrastructure analysis. The mechanical bridge between external technology and internal biology was tested at a scale never before attempted in human history. And it worked. And it worked, people. To my final bosses, to my smarts, to my motivators, to my warriors, it worked. Now, look, let's examine what comes next, right? Because I know everybody's sitting on the edge of their seat like, what's next? Let's shift gears. Let's pivot. We're moving from vax to cancer treatments. We're talking about Nanobiotix, ticker symbol NANO, NANO, on NASDAQ. Go look up that ticker and start to look at the margins and put in your orders. I'm telling you, biotech and medicine is where it's going to be at in the future, right? Nano, NANO, ticker symbol on NASDAQ. Founded in 2003 in Paris, right? Public listing 2012 on the Euronext, 2020 on NASDAQ. The market cap is 350 million as of 2024. Status is currently operational pharmaceutical company, not a research project, right? If you do the research, you can see exactly who's running the company. And there's a gentleman there that's been the driving force for 20 plus years with singular focus on nanoparticle medicine, right? This is first in class radio enhancer based on hafnium oxide nanoparticles. Now, let me break that down, right? Hafnium oxide, which is a crystalline metal compound, nanoparticles equals 50 nanometers in diameter. Radio enhancer equal amplifies the effect of radiation therapy. And how it works, NBTXR3, which is nanoparticles that are injected directly into a tumor. Nanoparticles remain inside the cancer cells. Patient receives standard radiation therapy. When radiation hits the hafnium oxide nanoparticles, it creates a cascade of electrons. This electron cascade causes significantly more DNA damage to cancer cells than radiation alone. Result, same radiation dose, greater tumor destruction, right? So think about that, right? Think about that. FDA Fast Track designation was granted, right? Fast Track means the FDA recognizes the potential to address unmet medical needs and agrees to an expedited review, right? The Europeans approved it. And here's the clinical reality of it. This isn't theoretical. It's not speculative. Actual cancer patients in France, Germany, and other European countries have received direct tumor injections of hafnium oxide nanoparticles, followed by radiation therapy with documented outcomes. Published clinical trial data shows improved tumor response rates compared to radiation alone in head and neck cell carcinoma, right? And for my warriors who know brothers and sisters who are fighting cancer at this very moment, this is operational technology available now in Europe under FDA Fast Track review for US approval, right? Now let's go a little bit deeper. Let's go a little bit deeper into the mechanism and the FDA pathway. Hafnium is an element 72 on the periodic table, a heavy metal with a high atomic number. When ionizing radiation, such as X-ray, strikes hafnium, it produces a photoelectric effect, releasing electrons. These electrons have very short range, only nanometers, so they damage DNA in the immediate vicinity. Because the hafnium nanoparticles are inside cancer cells, the DNA damage is concentrated in the tumor, not surrounding healthy tissue, right? Normal cells don't uptake the nanoparticles effectively because they're not actively dividing and have intact cell membranes. Cancer cells with their rapid division and compromised membranes take up nanoparticles much more readily. When you inject NBTXR3 into a tumor, you wait 24 hours for cellular uptake, then radiate. The physics does the rest, right? And there's been clinical trials. Go do your research and check out the clinical trials, man. There's been FDA trials There's phase 3 of those, man. Phase 3, phase 2, phase 1. All that information is readily available, right? The Nanobiotix isn't selling pills. They're selling MBTXR3 vials that oncologists inject into to tumors before radiation. The product integrates with existing radiation therapy infrastructure. No new equipment needed. There's there's a high potential revenue model, right? And per treatment, the range will be anywhere between 10 to 50K per patient, right? Depending on the size of the tumor, right? And the treatment protocol. There's been collaboration with the MD Anderson Cancer Center in Texas, partnerships with Chinese pharmaceutical companies, right? There's been licensing discussions with major oncology focused pharma companies. And to my final bosses, listen, here's a great market opportunity, right? 600,000 plus cancer patients receive radiation therapy annually in the US alone. If MBTXR3 captures even 10% of that market at 20K per patient, that's 1.2 billion annual revenue potential from a single indication. That's not speculation. That's market sizing based on current radiation oncology practice patterns, right? Now, let's shift again. Let's pivot again. Now, let's shift to the company that's already won. It already has multiple FDA approvals. It already has multiple drugs on the pharmacy shelves. It already has actual patients receiving nanoparticle medicines as standard of care, right? And the company, right? The company, it was founded in 2002. It's based out of Cambridge, Massachusetts. The NASDAQ ticker is another NASDAQ ticker for you, another biotech, right? Biotechs do really well. NASDAQ ticker is ALNY, right? Go check it out. Market cap is 20 billion as of 2024. It employs about 2,000 people. The focus is RNA interference therapeutics using lipid nanoparticle delivery systems. And the company is called Alnylam, right? Company is called Alnylam. And Alnylam's nanoparticles encapsulate cRNA that's designated to bind to specific messenger RNA, right? Inside cells and prevent protein production. Think of it as a genetic mute button. If a disease is caused by a protein being overproduced or misproduced, Alnylam's drugs can silence the gene that makes that protein, right? And most of Alnylam's drugs target the liver because they've mastered lipid formulations that naturally accumulate in hepatocytes, right? Which are liver cells. After intravenous injection. Why the liver, you ask? Because the liver produces many of the proteins that circulate in the bloodstream. If you can silence a gene in the liver, you can reduce a circulating protein throughout the entire body. Basically, what they've done is they're able to create a traffic jam in your bloodstream, right? And redirect the traffic for the most part. And as of 2024, Alnylam has 5 FDA-approved drugs, 20 plus drugs in clinical trials, partnerships with major pharma companies, and I'm not going to give you guys the companies, right? Go do your research. Stock price has grown from $20 in 2015 to its peak level of $200 in 2021 and 2022. Revenue growth has been exponential as each new drug approval hits the market. This isn't biotech speculation. This is revenue generating commercial pharmaceutical business based on nanoparticle delivery, right? And let's get the details out there, right? Let's get the details. The FDA for the FDA approved drugs. These are real medications that real patients are taking right now with a nanoparticle delivery system, right? Onpattro is one, right? Givlaari is another one. Oxlumo is one. Amvutra is one. Liqvio is another. If you notice anything, notice the rapid evolution in that time frame from the beginning of discussion to where nanoparticle tech and delivery systems started. People have been researching it. This delivery system has been in the works for over 20 years. It started with lipid nanoparticle, nanoparticle 4 infusions, right? Then moved on to conjugate different systems which allow subcutaneous injection with less frequent dosing. Both of those approaches solve the same problem. Getting cRNA into liver cells to silence specific genes, the delivery system and the delivery vehicle improved over time based on operational experience. Alnylam generated $1.4 billion in revenue from these 5 approved drugs. That's commercial proof that nanoparticle delivered genetic medicine is not just feasible, it's profitable. Now, you know, investors love their profits. Companies love their profits. Stay with me. Don't go anywhere. It's about to get really, really interesting. Now, let's examine what's coming and how the technology is advancing, right? We're talking about near-term pipeline, phase 3 trials, right? For many different medications, right? And we're going to go, they're going to be going beyond the liver. Alnylam's current limitation, right, is that most drugs target the liver because that's where the nanoparticle systems naturally accumulate. But here's a developing new delivery system, right? It's called CNS, which is the central nervous system, crossing the blood-brain barrier to treat neurological diseases. Targeting the lungs, inhaled nanoparticles for respiratory diseases. Targeting the eyes for intravitreal injection for retinal diseases. Each new delivery route requires different nanoparticle formulations, different lipid compositions, different targeting strategies. The platform is there. You have the lipid nanoparticles, right? You have the GNAC conjugates. You have the enhanced tissue targeting that will be going beyond the liver, right? All these exist. This isn't speculative. Alnylam doesn't just develop drugs, though. They partner up with other companies, and these partnerships provide capital, expertise, and distribution networks, and to include logistics, while validating the RNA AI platform. The intellectual property fortress. Alnylam holds 1,000 plus patents covering RNAi chemistry. This creates massive barriers to entry. Competitors can't just copy the approach. They have to invent around the patents, right? And for my smarts, the progression from rare disease, right, to common disease is a deliberate strategy, right? Number one, you got to prove that the technology works in small, high value markets. Number two, you have to build manufacturing and regulatory expertise. And number three, you have to expand to larger markets where pricing pressure is higher, but volume compensates. And number four, eventually reach mass market conditions where nanoparticle genes like silencing becomes routine medicine. That's not speculation. That's watching the roadmap unfold in real time, right? Now, we're going to connect the dots. Why is tonight's episode called The Mechanical Bridge? I'm always using metaphors. I use the metaphor of a train for go time, all aboard the fired up train, right? The mechanical bridge is another metaphor, right? It's another metaphor. A bridge connects two previously separate domains, right? You have the external and then you have the internal. The mechanical bridge is the nanoparticle delivery system that crosses from external to internal, from artificial to biological, from design to living, right? And there's three components of that. You have the physical crossing, you have the functional integration, and you have the information exchange phase, right? And for the consciousness piece, right? For the consciousness piece of in our consciousness implication of the Merger Wednesdays, there's a critical question I want you to ask. There's a critical question I want you to ask. If nanoparticles can cross the blood-brain barrier, which lipid nanoparticles demonstrably can, and if they can deliver genetic instructions that modify neural cell function, which they can, then they can potentially modify the biological substrate of consciousness. It's not science fiction, people, not speculation, just logical extension of operational technology, right? The current research is being done at UC Berkeley, at MIT, and at Johns Hopkins. The bridge from external AI systems to internal neural networks isn't theoretical anymore. It's being built particle by particle in research labs and pharmaceutical companies worldwide, right? And let's grind this in. Let's ground this in about what's happening today, not tomorrow, because sci-fi is no longer, the future isn't tomorrow. The future is here. It's not sci-fi, it's sci-fi now, right? So here we are. You have the CVAX, right? That was number one. Number two, you had Onpattro, which is from Alnylam. You have Givlari from Alnylam. You have Oxylumo from Alnylam. You have Amvutra from Alnylam. You have Licvio from Alnylam. You have Doxil, which is a cancer chemo treatment, right? And it's been around since 1995. One of the first nano medications. Then you have Abroxane, right? Which is for breast, lung, and pancreatic cancer. That's been around since 2005. Nanoparticles in clinical trials, right? For cancer, for gene therapy, for mRNA, for HIV, for RSV, nanoparticles for Alzheimer's, right? Cardiac nanoparticles for heart failure. The list goes on and on and on. And this isn't small scale research. This isn't industrial pharmaceutical manufacturing producing billions of nanoparticle doses daily, right? It's not small scale, people. The regulatory pathway has been open. The gateway's been there. FDA has established clear guidance a long time ago, right? And here's the regulatory roadmap for getting nanoparticle medicines approved. The path from research to pharmacy shelf is well defined, right? The insurance is covered. All FDA-approved nanoparticle drugs are covered under Medicare, Medicaid, and private insurance, right? That means the financial infrastructure is in place. Hospitals have protocols. Pharmacies stock these medications. Physicians prescribe them. Now, for my motivators and my warriors, if you or someone you're coaching faces a serious medical condition, nanoparticle therapeutics might already be a treatment option. This isn't future tech. It's current standard of care in specific conditions. Check clinicaltrials.gov for ongoing trials. These are verifiable, accessible opportunities, right? Now, We project forward using only logical extension of current capabilities, not speculation again, just trajectory analysis, right? We're talking about 5 years. Let's look at the 5 years, 5-year plan. You have medical expansion, right? You have technological advancement. You have manufacturing at scale. 10-year horizon. You have the convergence, right? You have the neural applications. You have implantable nano devices. By year 20, you'll have synthetic biological integration. You have neurodigital interfaces and conscious substrate modification. This is where the merger is. If you can modify neurons at will using nanoparticle delivered genetic or pharmaceutical tools, and if you can read neural activity using nano devices, and if you can process that information through AI, you can theoretically augment, enhance, or merge biological consciousness with artificial intelligence, right? Stay with me. Don't you go nowhere. Final bosses, these projections aren't fantasies. They're extrapolations of current FDA-approved tech, exponential manufacturing, AI advancements, and a financial incentive. You got to follow the money. You have to follow the money. If it's going to make money, it will come to light. The mechanical bridge isn't being built, it's operational. The question is, how far across will you walk to see this in your lifetime, right? Now, Final Boss Nation, Final Boss community, here's what I need from you. This is what I need from you, right? And I need this from each segment of our community, right? For my smarts, my critical thinkers, these are your action items. Go research one company that I mentioned tonight. Read their latest SEC filings, right? Examine their clinical trial data on clinicaltrials.gov. Form your own opinion based on verifiable facts, not fear or hype. If you don't trust me, you don't trust the Final Boss, verify everything I've said tonight. That's what critical thinking demands. To my final bosses, my empire builders, your strategic questions. What industries will be disrupted by nanoparticle medicine in the next decade? Where are the investment opportunities in the nanoparticle supply chain? How can you position your business to benefit from or protect against this technological shift? What skills should you develop or talent should you acquire to leverage this space? The companies winning in nanotech and nanoparticle medicine today didn't just have good science. They had manufacturing, regulatory, and business execution. Go study their playbooks, right? And to my motivators, these are my coaches and my leaders, right? Your responsibility. Educate your clients on the difference between verifiable nanoparticle medicine and conspiracy theories. Number 2, help people navigate medical decisions involving nanoparticle therapeutics with accurate information. Number 3, address fear and facts. People are scared of what they don't understand. And number 4, position yourself as a source of research, balanced information in a landscape full of noise, right? Your credibility depends on your accuracy. Do the research before you speak, right? And to my warriors, the battle tested, this is your mission. If you or your brother or your sister in arms face a serious medical condition, investigate whether nanoparticle therapeutics are an option. Number 2, share this information in veteran communities where chronic conditions and cancers are prevalent, right? Number 3, push for access to cutting-edge treatments. Don't accept outdated therapies when better options exist. And number 4, understand the technology that's being deployed because some of you will face decisions about whether to use it. Warriors, don't fear the unknown. They study it, understand it, and make informed decisions, right? And to the community at whole and community-wide, to the Final Bosses community, right? I want 100 members of Final Boss Nation to post one verifiable fact about nanoparticle medicine this week. Go tag us. Tag Mechanical Bridge. Tag Final Boss Research. These aren't opinions, not theories, facts with sources. Let's elevate the conversation. Let's separate the truth from the noise. Let's demonstrate what a community of critical thinkers looks like in real time, in real action, right? And in closing, we've covered a great deal in this dense format, right? Verifiable information about operational nanoparticle technology. Let me summarize the core frameworks for you, right? The mechanical bridge exists. 5.5 billion humans have received lipid nanoparticle technology. Multiple FDA-approved nanoparticle drugs are in clinical use. Manufacturing infrastructure produces billions of doses annually. Regulatory pathways are established and proven, right? The bridge is expanding. From rare diseases to common conditions, from liver targeting to brain, lungs, eyes, and beyond, from simple drug delivery to gene editing and synthetic biology, from standalone nanoparticles to integrated nano device networks. The trajectory is clear, right? Convergence with AI for personalized medicine exists. Crossing blood-brain barrier becomes routine. It's now. Potential for consciousness substrate modification through nanoparticle delivered genetic tools is happening. This isn't speculation. This is logical extension of operational technology. Of course, I'm going to give you the resources, man. I'm going to deliver you with the resources because that's what I do. I want you to see the information exists. It's verifiable. It's researchable. I need you to understand, right? This isn't fear. This is being informed, right? From scientific databases, PubMed.gov. Go research lipid nanoparticles. The company Alnylam that I've been talking about all night. RNAi Therapeutics. Again, that's RNAi Therapeutics, right? Go to clinicaltrials.gov. Search nanoparticles for hundreds of ongoing trials, right? Go look up the company information that I just discussed. Alnylam, right? Go look up a Nanobiotix company, right? Nanobiotix.com, right? SEC.gov and look at the public filings, right? And for those who want to go directly to FDA, FDA.gov, right? Search approved drugs and databases for nanoparticle medicines. FDA guidance documents on liposomal drugs, right? For mRNA vax, right? Do your academic research. There's a Nature Nanotechnology journal out there. There's a journal on controlled release. There's a journal on advanced drug delivery reviews, right? And there's hundreds and thousands of patent databases that you can look up on Google alone. You can look up patents on the USPTO.gov, one of my favorite sites, right? And look up key research terms: lipid nanoparticles, RNA interference, cRNA therapeutics, nanoparticle drug delivery system, mRNA vax, hafnium oxide nanoparticles, blood-brain barrier crossing. And next week, people, next week on Merger Wednesdays, episode number 4, we're going to be discussing the Neuralink and the interface. We're going to examine Mr. Musk's brain-computer interface company, the competitive landscape, and how neural implants connect to the nanoparticle bridge we discussed tonight. And here's a reminder. This is the Final Boss. This is the Final Boss podcast, episode number 163, episode number 3 of Merger Wednesday. We broadcast live 5 times a week. Motivation Monday, Tech Tuesday with my SME, the Sensei, Merger Wednesdays, special guest Thursdays, and sit down with the Final Boss Sundays, right? Each show is live. Again, each show is live, people. It's authentic, right? I'm selling you authenticity at 9 p.m., right? Every week, we're going to be building and continuously to build the Final Boss community, one systematic episode at a time. And remember, the mechanical bridge between human biology and artificial technology isn't coming. It's operational. The question isn't whether this technology will merge with human consciousness. The question is, will you understand it when it does? Do your research, verify everything, think critically, build systematically. Final Boss Nation, Final Boss community, we're not chess pieces, we're chess masters. Stay fired up. Get ready for, of course, the Fired Up train. Go purchase, go time, all aboard the Fired Up train. This is the motivation manuscript workbook. Go get it. Go time 2. Go time 2. Woo! It's on its way. That is our episode for the evening. And man, if this episode resonated with your spine, please let that marinate. Please let it marinate, right? And remember, there's a heavy pain that comes with discipline, but the pain of regret is even heavier. We are here. I am here. This is Final Boss community, the Final Boss Nation, Final Boss Podcast, right? And to each and every last single one of you, no matter where you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Be balanced, be equal, and be smart. Happy New Year to each and every last single one of you. Get ready for the Fired Up train, because baby, 2026, when I tell you 2026, it's going to be a special year. Through it all, trials and tribulations, we accept the discomfort. The discomfort equals growth. The challenges equals growth. Remember, comfort is the enemy of growth, right? You'll learn all of that in go time. Learn how to defeat that inner me. Be a villain to that bad guy, the bad guy that is within self. And for us, that is our show. This is the last show of 2025. I'll see you again in 2026. Have a great one. Talk to you guys soon. Love you all. Thank you for your support. Let's all continue to be critical thinkers in this vast space of noise. Good night.